Just doing a quick video here of my 1,000 horse pump gas 632 without nitrous and up to 1,500 with. So just so you can see what kind of cars I do have. I like everything clean, so everything stays clean except for we've had about 5 days of rain. But I'm pretty meticulous with my cars. I like things a certain way. So I've had this for about 7 years, and I've just there's nothing I really haven't done aside from paint. So I got it with this paint job, but you can see even in the trunk area, I wired everything. I wanted to see battery power. I, built the hole down. We welded up all the holes in the trunk. I just wanted everything sanitary. So everything is. I have the bottle out right now, but there's a wiring for the remote bottle opener. And for the most part, everything's really clean. Like I said, I never did the paint. The paint shows good, but it has its scratches. It's gotten its nicks and chips over the years. But this car stops heads everywhere. So for the most part, I'll just do a quick walk around so we can see the car. I'll point out the flaws. I don't try to hide anything. I did change the wheels, the brakes, the suspension, the motor, the transmission, every existing part. Ripped all the wiring out of the car. You can see the interior is really clean. I wanted a back seat because I have kids and I like to take them in the car. So I kept the fire extinguisher there for now, but I've never needed it. It's missing the cover for the light, but the headliner's in great shape. Everything is. We built this back panel just because NHRA required it. You had to seal off the trunk, so we go ahead and did that too. I've got the slide out bars. I have everything. I even have the net. You can see when you jump in the car that this is just a timing control knob that I only use for starting and stopping. This is for the nitrous, so one is for the bottle heater, one is for the bottle opener. This one arms the throttle, this one arms the button. So your choice whether you want to be full throttle or just button activated. I put the nitrous pressure in the dash so we could see where that's at, so you can do everything from the cockpit, from turning on the bottle, turning on the heater, knowing when to turn it off. I've got fuel pump, water pump, one fan, the other fan, open switch for anything else that you might want to use. Over here is the MSD7, all of the ignition controls I put behind the firewall. It was just a nice cleaner installation. Behind the dash, everything, all the wiring is gone. Factory wiring. All the wiring is new. I ripped out all the wiring from the car because I just didn't want to start with junk. We put a mount here for the precision shifter. I was going to powder coat that, I just haven't got around to doing it. So like I said, it's cosmetic things. I wanted to put some new carpet in, but again, just haven't done it yet. So everything on the shifter is awesome. I went with the reverse pattern. So it's a reverse manual valve body, but this reverse pattern's awesome because you really can't move. So the only thing you can do is push forward, hard to pull back. As we walk around the car, just kind of get a good look of everything. It's all intact. I wanted a car with fender wells. It was just my personal preference. I hate seeing that drag car cutout deal. So when we custom built the headers as well, I wanted everything inside the frame rail. We made the engine plate, all the stainless tubing here, just because nothing was going to fit properly. Everything's heim jointed all the way up. We built the throttle, the foot lever, and we put a stop on it as well. There's your line lock. These are just extra wires which I need to remove. You can go all the way through and see the heim joints here. Everything's nice, sanitary, nothing leaks, it doesn't throw belts. It's just a perfect clean setup. So even the throttle, actually, just for reference, a lot of dual carb setups have a lot of throttle tension. This is just, it's so easy. So you have a really easy pedal, which I really like. Here's your tranny cooler lines up front. Breather tank for the vacuum pump. Everything turned out really good. This was actually handmade. We handmade that. So I wanted everything symmetrical. Everything new, of course. Vacuum pump, alternator. I put a bigger amp alternator, and as you can see, ran bigger gauge wire all the way back. I ran the MagnaFuel regulators because it just they work. They work. I like the way they look, so it just fit for me. This is where your nitrous is teed in. Got your fuse block here, so you can remove everything on and off real quick. And for the most part, I've sunk tons of money into the car and all my other cars as well. Could use some paint here on the lower plastic front lip. The hood as well comes with the car, is right here. I just haven't cut it. I had a 434 Motown block in it, single carb small block, and it fit under the hood. So since I put the 632 in, I always wanted a 632 on pump gas, so since I had Jensen's build me that motor, I just never got around to cutting the hood yet. But the new owner can cut the hood. So there is the hood. We'll fire it up. You can listen to it. It runs cold. It runs cool. I don't have any heating problems. Got great oil pressure. This is definitely not a problem for somebody. Somebody is getting a turnkey. I planned on keeping this forever, as a 71 Camaro was my first car. And I looked high and low to get a clean one that was a good base starting point. And I just kept going from there. I even have, I've got the velocity stacks. I had these black chromed. I just wanted to see how it would look. And they turned out so-so. I like the way it looks without them. But when I do run around the street, I put these on. I was going to black chrome the whole engine bay, but everything gets carried away. So I'll go ahead and shut it. We'll start it up, do an idle, let you listen to it. This here is probably the biggest flaw in the car, which is right here. Right after I bought the car, one of these electrical holders came down and just was unbolted from a house I just bought and fell right there. So like I said, this one kills me when I look at it, but it has a couple chips, but for the most part, everything shows really well. It's got Caltrac suspension, split leafs. The whole suspension, we'll even crawl on the underside just to take a peek. You can see that everything was undercoated. We welded this cross brace bar for the shocks to get the proper angles that we were looking for. You can see all the stainless exhaust. You've got the subframe connectors. Everything's pretty set up. There's your drive shaft. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's been a stone unturned on this car. So, for the most part, if somebody was ready to, if they wanted to make this thing show quality, it would be a little bit of dress up. Just paint and things like that. And for the most part, that's it. We're going to go ahead and turn the power on. Shut the trunk. And I'm going to fire it up. So I'm going to give this to my daughter, and then we'll fire it up, pull it out. You can get a good listen and see what the car is. Let it get a little temperature in it right now, but I have the fans off, so I'll just show you how the car runs. It's idling about 900. Once it's fully warmed up, I'd be right about 1,000. Fuel gauge works. We put a new sender in there. Oil pressure is actually really good. So this car has great oil pressure. Once it's really warm, you'll about 30 pounds. As soon as you touch the throttle, you're back up to 60 or 70. But we're going to let the water temperature get up. I use the timing control knob just for starting and stopping. I set the timing initially, and this is just a really handy knob where you can turn timing way down and the car really responds.